I'm Lewis Bolden. So this morning, I am going to take the liberty of renaming this show. It is going to be Lattes with Lewis this morning. So grab a latte and pull up. We've got several things to talk about. If you are heading out this morning, weather is going to be an issue. There is a lot of fog. It is dense and it is thick and it is all over the place. So we're going to check in with Michelle Morgan about that in just a moment. We also have a series of disturbing incidents that have happened in Seminole County. This morning, a man has been arrested for exposing himself outside of people's windows. Troy Campbell is going to take a look at that. Also, it is holiday time. That means gifts. It also means good food and drinks. 'Tis the season to overeat. So we're going to be checking in with a doctor from Advent Health about how you can curb those cravings and make a healthier plate for yourself. Also, we've got SeaWorld, we've got Disney, we've got Universal Studios. You know about those. But Christmas, Florida, is becoming its own little attraction this time of year. We're going to have a package from Emily McLeod on that. But first, we want to check in with meteorologist Michelle Morgan. As we said, fog has been an issue this morning. Michelle, has it started to burn off, or is it we're still dealing with it?
It's stilly. We're over here singing, and I tried to get serious. Crystal is behind me.
Listen, there
Yes,
is no
it is.
getting serious with Crystal around, okay?
I know. We're over here jamming. We have Christmas songs in our head. But yes, to answer your question, you can see her behind me. Yes, we are still dealing with that thick fog across Central Florida, and it is pretty bad out there. So that's going to make your commute tricky this morning. You're heading out to work or taking the kids to school, and of course, Crystal will have more on your traffic conditions. But yeah, let's get right into it here. I do want to show you a live look outside. This is supposed to be downtown Orlando. This is from our Light Orlando Delivering Hope camera. You can't see anything. That's how bad the fog is. We're at 64 degrees and winds are out of the northwest at 6 miles per hour. Now, because the winds are fairly light at the moment, the fog is going to take its sweet time mixing out as we go through the morning. And because of that, we're looking at a dense fog advisory in effect for all of Central Florida, lasting through 10 this morning. Now, according to the visibility map, we are down to less than a mile in Ocala, the villages, Leesburg, and I live out in Lake County. So the fog was terrible out there. Orlando, we're down to a mile, as well as Daytona Beach and Cocoa Beach. And really along the I-4 corridor, we are tracking that thick fog. So just make sure you're taking it easy. As Crystal was mentioning, leaving enough space between you and the vehicle in front of you, because due to the weather conditions, you only have seconds to react. So just be careful out there. Temperatures, not awful. We're in the 60s right now. You may need a light jacket in some spots, but all in all, it's really a nice, pleasant start to our morning. 64 in Sanford, Orlando, Claremont, 63 in Ocala, and 62 degrees in Palm Coast. Melbourne, good morning. You're at 64. Now, your forecast for today, when that fog finally clears, we're expecting it around 10 o'clock this morning. We're looking at mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures gradually climbing into the lower 70s around 10, 74 around lunch, and then upper 70s later on this afternoon. And a few isolated showers are possible later on today due to a passing cold front. Now, your forecast highs will be above average once again, with highs in the upper 70s in Wildwood, Leesburg, Claremont, 80 in Lakeland and Winter Haven, 75 in Cocoa Beach and Daytona Beach, Palm Coast, a high of 74. So looking at your clouds and rain forecast, that front passing through later on today, and a few isolated showers, storms are possible really north and west of the I-4 corridor. When that front clears, we're looking at a nice evening ahead and also a nice night under mainly clear skies, and then those overnight temperatures dipping into the 50s and 60s. So let's go ahead and talk about what's coming our way. Changes are on the way as we head into the weekend. When that front clears, that cooler air is going to take its time getting to us. So Saturday morning is when I anticipate our wake up temperatures in the 30s and 40s. So some chilly air heading our way. And talking about your weekend forecast, here it is. We're going to see our highs in the lower 60s Saturday, and again with those wake up temperatures in the 40s and 30s. And then Sunday morning, same deal. It's going to be a chilly start, and then our highs in the upper 60s. After Sunday, we're on a warming trend, and Christmas is looking fantastic. So if you have anything planned this weekend, we're looking good. It's just going to be chilly, and the first day of winter is on Saturday, so it's actually going to feel like it. So I'll leave you with your 7 days. 79 today, 20% chance for isolated showers, 75 tomorrow with plenty of clouds around. Saturday's the first day of winter, 62. Sunday, a high of 68. And then on Monday, we're back in the 70s. Christmas Eve looks fantastic. Plenty of sunshine, highs in the lower 70s. And then Christmas Day, as of right now, we're looking at 76, mostly sunny skies, and a random shower or two possible. So, really not a bad forecast there, Lewis.
And Michelle, I'm looking forward to those cooler days this weekend for the first day of winter. That sounds nice.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. Anytime it gets chilly in Florida, of course, we don't get that many cold days. So when we do, it really puts you in that holiday spirit. And if you're a procrastinator like me and you haven't finished your holiday shopping, the weekend is looking great to do that.
You know what, Michelle? You always get a lot of cute pictures in. I don't want to put you on the spot. I don't know if you have these ready to go, but people send in their pet pictures to you, and you got some cute ones all dressed up in their Christmas
Oh, yeah.
costumes.
You can always put me on the spot. I'm always ready. Hold on. I got you. So,
You stay
yes,
ready.
yes, I stay ready. We are looking at, I just want to show you this one right here. So adorable. Like,
That's
everybody
the
has
one
been
I wanted.
sending, yeah, look at this. Everybody has been sending me their photos online. This is our out the door forecast, and I love to feature a pet of an hour. And it's so hard because I get so many, and I just want to feature all of them every weather segment. But this pet here is so adorable. This is Bella. Bella is from Castleberry, and this was sent in by one of our Pinnet users, and it's absolutely free. You just go online, click orlando.com/pins, sign up, and you can submit your photos of anything, your pets, your Christmas decorations, anything. And also, we do have a contest, and Crystal handles that. And we ran a story today showing the prizes a lot of our Pinnet users got. I'll be honest, I was jealous. Like a PS5, a flat screen TV, we can't sign up for it. But just to see what our viewers, our Pinnet users are getting, what they're winning, it's like, wow, how exciting. You see her, and she handles it all by herself. Like, she is the woman, she does her thing, and it's just so neat to see people winning all of these cool prizes. So yeah, I show the pictures, but nothing compares to everyone signing up for those prizes, which is really cool.
And you know what? We're going to show video of that a little bit later on. And you have
Yeah.
been amped up about that PS5 all morning long. So we definitely need to show people that.
Yeah, I've been pretty, if you want to call it amped up. Yeah, I was amped up for sure.
No, they are nice gifts, though. A
They
75-inch
are.
TV, too. So, yeah, we're going to show that a little bit later on. But, Michelle, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me on Lattes with Lewis. I had a blast.
Listen, come back tomorrow, will you?
I'll be here.
Okay, good. Thank you, Michelle. Now, as Michelle was talking about, that fog is dense and it is all over the place this morning. Trooper Steve is off, but we have Crystal Moyer who is telling us what's going on the roads. And Crystal, it's been big. It's been bad out there this morning.
It has, it has. And even on my way to work, this morning I was driving along OBT and there were points where I could not see in front of my vehicle. And even though I have cameras, the front car cameras in front of my car, it was giving me that signal that it's not detecting anything. So I just want you all to be careful out there. If those kids are still going to school, watch out for those bus stops, public transportation. I just want everyone to be safe this morning. So let's take it to the maps. We'll show you a little bit of what's going on throughout the area. We are dealing with a crash over in Orange County. This is near Lake Buena Vista, involving injuries on 535 and Vineland Avenue. I believe this is on the northbound side of 535. We saw some minor delays earlier this morning dealing with this wreck. So we still see some of those rescue crews on the scene there. Give them plenty of space, move on over, and of course, slow it down because we are seeing those areas of that dense fog. So here's a live look outside in Volusia County. This is I-95 just north of US 1 near Daytona. It is starting to clear a little bit throughout this area, lifting from ground level, but things do change throughout the morning. So sometimes I'll peek at this camera and I can't see anything. 10 minutes later, I see a little bit of roadway there. So just make sure you're careful. And I do want to remind drivers, we do not high beam when you see those low visibilities, especially fog. We low beam so that reflection of the light does not distract you or other drivers out there. So here's a live look at the DOT cameras over near Lake County, the Turnpike and mile marker 305 right before you hit I-75. Again, we're seeing that fog there as well. If you're trying to head up towards Sumter or Marion County, good morning. I-75 looks pretty clear. Your drive times in the green, not bad this morning on the turnpike between I-4 and I-75. Allow about 40 minutes heading northbound. Once you hop onto I-75 between the turnpike and State Road 40, the Ocala exit, just a short 19-minute ride. Here's a look around town. If you're traveling along I-4 near 535, there's a disabled vehicle off to the right-hand shoulder. Not bad, but you can see over along I-4 areas of 408, 417, we're all seeing that fog. That's why there's a widespread dense fog advisory. So as you're heading out this morning, just leave that extra space between you and the vehicle in front of you. 528, the beach line, looking pretty good. Your drive time's in the green there at about 36 minutes heading east and westbound between I-95 and I-4, Lewis.
Crystal, thank you. It is dense fog out there. You can see it even outside the newsroom window, and you've been reminding people to keep those lights on low beams this morning.
Yes.
That is good advice. And Crystal, there's something else that was in our newscast this morning that really had you talking, something called
we're going to get into it? We're going to get into it?
We're going to get into it. We're going to get into it.
Okay.
Sleep maxing. And people are doing some really interesting things to try and get a better night's sleep. Things like taping their mouth closed overnight.
Yes. So a lot of folks are buying mouth tape, and it comes in like large packs. And basically it's like this strip of tape that you put over your mouth, and it's supposed to keep your mouth shut while you sleep. Because, sometimes you sleep with your mouth open. I know I do. And they're saying that's the cause of like the double chin. So people are claiming if you sleep with a mouth tape that it's going to give you that chiseled jawline over time. I don't know. Honestly,
Listen, you might get better sleep. It doesn't sound like the most attractive sleep if you have a spouse and you want to roll over and give them a kiss.
None of this is attractive. Right. And what if someone wants to talk to you, get a phone call? It's like, I guess that's an excuse to not have to talk to somebody throughout the night because I got my mouth tape on. But another one, the nose patches to help people who snore.
Yeah.
So now they have these magnets that you put in your nose, and then the other magnets go outside to kind of like open up your nostrils. That's supposed to help you breathe easier.
So I've got magnets up my nose and tape covering my mouth as I'm sleeping. Is this right?
You know what? If people are doing it, you're going to breathe better, sleep better, and have that chiseled chin. I don't know.
Well, listen, if we have more time later on in the show, we're gonna tell people a little bit more about that. But Crystal, thank you so much.
Thanks, Lewis. Have a good one. See you later.
All right, you guys, we have some breaking news from overnight that we want to tell you about. A dangerous scene along a busy Orange County road after a traffic stop by deputies ends with a man dead. Osceola County deputies say they had followed a stolen car into Orange County when 4 suspects got out at the Chapel Trace Apartments off Goldenrod Road near Valencia College Lane. Deputies say the group then got into a rideshare vehicle, but when they pulled that car over, one of the suspects, a man in his 20s, shot himself inside. The man later died at the hospital. 3 other suspects were arrested. Deputies say no one else was hurt. And developing now, this has been an ongoing issue. There have been a series of incidents in Seminole County, and this morning a man is now locked up and facing charges after police say they received several reports of him exposing himself outside of people's windows. News 6's Troy Campbell spoke to neighbors who say they are now relieved to know that a suspect is now behind bars.
Sanford police say they're very relieved to have made this arrest. Investigators say surveillance video helped them identify their suspect. Sanford police announcing the arrest of 22-year-old Angel Davis, charged with indecent exposure.
Unfortunately, last night, the instances that were reported did raise to that prowler, indecent exposure type situation. So he is, if it is a single person, escalating, and it's very concerning to us.
Investigators linking him to at least one incident Tuesday evening, where it was reported a man peeped through the window and exposed himself near Mellonville Avenue and 20th Street. James Connor lives about a block away from where investigators say Tuesday's incident took place.
My wife saw some activity yesterday. She said that the police blew past the barricades here.
But this is what happened. It was like 7 p.m. and there's some guy looking through our window.
Gregory Eisenberg lives along nearby Park Street. Although it's unknown if the person in this video from December 26 is Davis, He says someone has been lurking near his window several times in the past month. Eisenberg says in the video from 2 days ago, you see the man walking through his yard and into this window where you can see completely inside.
So I run out here with the dogs, and my neighbor on that side, he comes outside, he's yelling, and the person just runs down the street towards the train tracks.
What has the reaction been like on social media?
It's been wild. It's been either somebody saying that they're going to sit on my roof and help me snipe a person if he comes by again, to people being like, this person's been outside of my house.
Sanford police say they're still working to determine if other reported incidents are connected to Davis, adding more arrests could be made.
It's very scary because, you know, it's one of those things that you think when it's happening to you, it's an isolated incident. Then you start seeing all these people connecting their dots together, and you realize how scary this is.
Police also say their investigation is ongoing, so they ask anyone with information to contact Crime Line. Outside the Sanford Police Department, Troy Campbell, Getting Results, News 6.
Troy, thank you. You are watching Breakfast with Bridgett, aka Lattes with Lewis. We will be back in just a moment. And welcome back to Lattes with Lewis. It is holiday time, and that means a lot of holiday parties, which means a lot of good food, good drinks. But how do you control it all? How do you curb those cravings and make a healthier plate? We're going to bring in Dr. Damon Tanton with Advent Health to talk about that. Dr. Tanton, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Well, thank you, Lewis.
Well, this is the time of year when a lot of people overeat because there is so much going on. So the first question is, what impact does overeating have on your health, both short-term and long-term?
Well, the main thing that you want to make sure is you control the insulin that's released. So insulin is the most important hormone that we have in terms of fat. If you control your insulin, you control the level of fat. And what happens when you eat foods that raise the glucose and the insulin is that they cause this sugar roller coaster. And that can cause you to feel bloated, that can cause you to feel fatigued, and long term, it leads to more belly fat.
So one of the things I've been trying to do, especially this time of year, is pay attention to when I'm actually satisfied. And so how do you go about building a healthy plate?
That's a good point. The satiety is the most important thing that we have to focus on when we talk about eating. Protein is actually the most satiating macronutrient, means that it causes you to be the most full. So the more protein that you can pack on early, the less hungry you'll be, and that will make you less likely to overeat. Okay.
And what are some eating tips for people?
I think it's really key to start small and not your eyes are always bigger than your stomach, right? So start small and eat slowly and try to wait 30 minutes or so before going back for seconds because if we can overeat our eyes, obviously, and then the issue is a lot of times when we're hungry, we're actually thirsty. So make sure that you stay hydrated.
Are there any foods that people should just avoid altogether?
Well, I don't think so because food is fun. My wife, Iris, is a trained chef, so it's definitely fun for me. So it's really about moderation. And you don't want to include foods that are tempting you to eat too much of them. So it's all about maintaining discretion. But I don't really advise my patients to avoid foods in general because food is fun and the holidays are fun.
Well, that's good to hear. And there are so many holiday parties this time of year. But you say at holiday parties, that's a good time to be chatty Cathy.
Well, it is. We have so much social interaction around food, and it's important to include food into our cultural and holiday events. But the more you're talking, guess what? The less you're eating. So spend time talking and not time eating. And I spent a lot of time in Europe over my life. They do eating right because they take forever to eat lunch and supper.
And you also say don't skip the traditions. What do you mean by that?
No, it's just don't be imprisoned by your food. Don't go into the holidays with a negative attitude like, I can't eat this, I can't eat that. Foods are there to be enjoyed. It's just a matter of controlling yourself. And part of the control is limiting the insulin. So I'll finish with the same message. If you control your insulin, you control your fat. So try to pick foods that aren't going to raise the glucose and insulin quickly, thereby allowing you to eat and have fun, but not overeat.
Okay, Dr. Tanton with Advent Health, good advice. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks, Lewis.
And Dr. Tanton was talking about the importance of staying hydrated. Well, this morning, another Central Florida city is making changes when it comes to what's in the water. Leaders in Tavares voted last night to stop adding fluoride over concerns it could be doing damage to people's health. News 6's Stephanie Rodriguez explains.
On Wednesday, as the city of Tavares debated fluoride, they heard directly from the man who says Florida cities shouldn't add it to their water.
Seems to be associated with thyroid dysfunction.
Last month, Dr. Joseph Latipo told Floridians that he was opposed to fluoridation. He cited a federal court ruling that claims high fluoride levels can lead to lower IQs in children. That judge ordered the EPA to look into the risk.
The risks are just, it's appalling. On the plus side, does it help teeth? Yeah, that seems pretty good. Fluoride does. Does water fluoridation still make a big difference for teeth? That's completely questionable.
The study on lower IQs is based on fluoride levels higher than 1.5 milligrams per liter of water, which is more than twice the federal limit of 0.7 milligrams enforced by the U.S. Department of Health. Numbers those in favor of fluoridation cited when giving public comment.
Absolutely. Opponents to fluoridation cite studies based on over-fluoridation, claiming it causes a reduction in IQ of 4 points. Psychologists offer that cell phones are contributing to a decrease in IQ of 15 points as people are losing their ability to think for themselves. So perhaps the Surgeon General should look at that one for us.
On Monday, another Lake County city voted to go in the opposite direction. Leesburg city leaders voted to continue with a plan to add fluoride to their drinking water. The city has already spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on the fluoridating equipment.
And we are less than a week away from Christmas, and that means the holiday shipping rush is on. And for one Central Florida post office, it's a little busier than most others. As News 6's Emily McLeod shows us, people are making the trip to Christmas to get some special postage for their cards and packages.
It might be a little bit of a hike for some, but people come from all over to be able to send their Christmas presents from Christmas, Florida. This is not necessarily close to where you live. This is a little bit of a hike for you to come out this way.
About 10, 12 miles down here. But it's worth it. It gives a little, extra fun for the holiday season.
Thomas David sent a big stack of Christmas cards from, you guessed it, Christmas, Florida on Wednesday morning. Like several others, David is here to get that special postage for his cards.
The actual stamp, the cancellation, that really is kind of cool for that.
Yeah.
So that's the important part for me.
For Catherine and Ella Berry, coming to the Christmas Florida post office is a Christmas tradition.
Why did you pick this post office to send your mail?
So we stumbled upon this about 15 years ago, taking our kids to Fort Christmas Park. And I just thought how cool of a tradition. So for the last 15 years, I address them, I stamp them, and I come here and I always tell people check where it's postmarked because they get their Christmas Florida cards every year.
That's got to be special for you to make your annual trip to the Christmas Florida post office.
She gets so excited. She was looking forward to it all morning. She was like, we're going to Christmas.
So if you weren't able to make it to the post office on Wednesday to get your special Christmas stamp from Christmas Florida, you still have time to be able to do so. In the post office, there is a holiday shipping guide with more important dates inside. December 19th for priority mail service and December 21st for a priority mail express service. For more important dates when it comes to shipping your presents this Christmas season, you can head to clickorlando.com. For now, reporting in Christmas, I'm Emily McLeod, Getting Results, News 6.
Keeping the tradition alive. Emily, thank you. Well, earlier you heard meteorologist Michelle Morgan talking about the News 6 insiders getting their gifts, and we definitely want to show you that. It was a big day for some of our News 6 insiders. You may remember earlier this month we held our 6 days of giveaways contest. Well, yesterday, 3 of our winners came by the News 6 studios to get their gifts. We're talking about a PlayStation 5 that Michelle was all amped up about, a 75-inch TV, and some hex-clad pots and pans. We're always doing fun things for our insiders, so if you haven't already, sign up. It is free. Just head to clickorlando.com/insider. And thank you so much for joining us this morning for Lattes with Lewis. Remember, there is fog on the road, so if you are heading out, it is pretty dense in some areas, so allow yourself plenty of time. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great day.